Most people do not fail because they are lazy. They fail because they keep waiting to feel ready. They wait for a spark, a perfect Monday, a clean mood, a fearless version of themselves. But that version almost never arrives before the work begins. And by the end of this, you will see why people who stop chasing motivation often change faster, last longer, and finally trust themselves again. Because the life you want is usually built in boring moments, not emotional highs. Motivation feels powerful because it arrives like weather, sudden, intense, and convincing enough to make change feel finally possible. You clean the room, make the plan, and promise yourself this time will be different. And sometimes it is different, for 3 days, maybe 7. Then real life walks back in. You get tired, work gets messy, your mood dips, and the old habits reopen. And now it feels like you lost something important. But maybe you did not lose anything at all. Maybe you were leaning on something that was never built to carry you. Pause for a second. Think about brushing your teeth or locking your door before bed. You do not need a speech, cinematic music, or a better personality to do it. You do it because it became normal. That's the whole game most people miss. Real change becomes powerful when it stops feeling dramatic. We have been taught to worship intensity, the comeback season, the giant declaration, the all-in mood. This is where it gets uncomfortable. A loud promise can feel productive even when it changes nothing. Saying "I'm starting over" gives your brain a tiny reward. It feels like movement, but consistency only responds to what you repeat. Small actions look weak in the beginning. 1 walk, 1 page, 10 push-ups, 5 minutes without your phone, 1 honest budget check, 1 early bedtime will never impress the fantasy version of you. That's exactly why it works. It slips past the ego and asks for a place in your actual day. And once it has that place, it starts reshaping your identity. Not all at once, quietly. Repeated behavior is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you keep a small promise, you cast 1 more vote. You are telling your nervous system something specific. I can be trusted. I do what I said I would do, even when nobody sees it, especially when nobody sees it. Look closer. Motivation asks, how do I feel today? Consistency asks, what is the next small thing? Motivation is emotional, but consistency is architectural. One depends on mood. The other builds a floor under your feet. And when life gets hard, floors matter more than fireworks. Because hard days are the test, not the easy days. Anybody can feel disciplined when energy is high and time is open. But your future is mostly shaped on ordinary Tuesdays, when your sleep was bad, the sink is full, and the message you wanted never came. When your mind says skip it, you deserve a break. And maybe you do deserve a break. But there's a difference between rest and abandonment. Rest keeps the relationship with yourself alive. Abandonment teaches you that your word expires under pressure. That lesson spreads into your work, your body, your money, and your confidence, not because you're incapable, but because self-trust is built through evidence. And evidence does not come from wishing harder. It comes from repetition. Small, almost forgettable, but real. Here's another truth people avoid. Motivation often serves the fantasy self that changes overnight and never slips again. But consistency serves the actual self, the tired self, the distracted self, the healing self with bills and grief and laundry. That version of you does not need inspiration. That version needs a system gentle enough to survive reality. Start smaller than your pride wants, smaller than your old standards, and smaller than the version of you that keeps failing beautifully. Read 2 pages, stretch for 3 minutes, save $5, write 1 sentence, wash 1 plate. Then repeat it long enough that your brain stops negotiating. This matters more than people admit. Because every habit has 2 jobs. One is to produce a result. The other is to produce a self-concept. A workout can strengthen your body, but it can also teach you, I am someone who returns. A savings transfer can grow your money, but it can also teach you, I protect my future. A daily walk can improve your mood, but it can also teach you, I do not disappear. Stay here. This part changes everything. When you stop worshiping motivation, you stop taking your inconsistency so personally. You realize the issue was not your character, it was your strategy. You kept asking emotion to do the job of structure. You kept expecting a feeling to raise a life. Feelings are visitors. Structure is a home. So if you've been starting and stopping, don't label yourself weak. Build smaller, build calmer, and build in a way that still works on a bad day. Make the habit too small to threaten your resistance. Make it clear, visible, and tied to something that already happens. After coffee, I write one line. After dinner, I walk for 5 minutes. After I plug in my phone, I put the book on the pillow. The goal is not to impress yourself. The goal is to reduce friction until follow-through becomes ordinary, because ordinary is sustainable, and sustainable is what changes a life. Not the burst, the return. Not the perfect streak, the quiet repair after you miss a day. That's consistency too. Starting again without drama, without shame, before the gap becomes your identity. If this reached something honest in you, keep it close on the days your feelings go silent. And if you want more grounded reflection like this, you can stay with us here. Quiet Shift is for people learning internal mastery without performing for the world. One quiet promise kept at a time.